Ali had always loved cars, even though he had never owned one. He liked how they moved, how they sounded, and how people could feel proud of them. His favorite times were when he visited his grandpa Hassan's house. Grandpa's backyard was full of old tools, wooden crates, and little memories tucked in every corner. But among all the things, one object always caught Ali's attention. It was a car hidden under a torn cloth, with rust covering its body. Its tires were flat, and its windows were dusty. Ali often wondered what story the car held, but he never asked too much. He thought maybe it was just a broken old car that Grandpa kept for memories. One sunny afternoon, Ali visited his grandpa's house again. The birds were singing, and the air smelled like fresh soil from the small garden near the shed. Grandpa Hassan was sitting on a wooden chair, drinking tea, and watching Ali as he walked toward the car. Ali's eyes were curious. He could not stop staring at it. He slowly pulled back the old cover, and the sunlight fell on the Mustang. It was a Ford Mustang from 1967. The body was scratched and rusty, but the shape was perfect. Its curves were beautiful, even with the damage. Ali gently touched the hood, and he felt a strange excitement. This car was old, but it had character. Grandpa Hassan came closer and smiled. His face had wrinkles, but his eyes were warm and kind. "This old Mustang has been with me for a long time," he said. "I bought it when I was young. I drove it everywhere and it was my pride. But now I do not have the strength to take care of it. Maybe it is time for someone else to love it as I did." Ali looked at his grandpa, feeling a mixture of curiosity and nervousness. He never expected Grandpa Hassan to offer him anything about the car. Grandpa Hassan paused and then said, "Ali, I want to sell it to you. You are the one who looks at it with care. $800 is enough for me." Ali's heart beat fast. $800 was a lot of money for him, but he knew he wanted this car more than anything else. He looked at the rusted Mustang and imagined it shining again, powerful and alive. "Grandpa, I will buy it," he said with confidence. Grandpa Hassan laughed softly, happy to see Ali excited. "I know you will take care of it," he said. "It will be safe with you." Ali used his savings from months of small jobs and gave his grandpa the money. When he got the keys, he held them tightly. To everyone else, the Mustang looked useless. Neighbors laughed when they saw Ali trying to move the car. "Why do you want that old thing?" they asked. Ali smiled quietly. He did not want to explain. He knew this car was special. He could feel its history and strength. That evening, he stayed by the car, looking at it under the soft light of the sunset. He promised himself that he would restore it and bring it back to life. The next morning, Ali pushed the Mustang into a small garage behind his house. The tires were flat, so he had to carry heavy tools and pull the car slowly. The sound of metal scraping the floor made him wince, but he did not give up. He started cleaning it piece by piece. Rust came off like small brown flakes. Dirt filled the corners. Every time he cleaned a part, he felt closer to the car. Ali spent hours just looking at the engine, trying to understand how it worked. He had never seen a car this old before. It was difficult, but the challenge excited him. Ali's best friend, Sammy, came to visit. Sammy was curious and asked, "Ali, why are you working so hard on that old car? It looks broken forever." Ali smiled and said, "It is more than a car. It has history. One day it will be beautiful again, and I want to be the one who brings it back." Sammy shook his head but helped Ali anyway. They worked together, removing old parts, cleaning metal, and organizing tools. Every screw and bolt mattered. Ali learned patience. He learned how small steps could make a big change. Each day, the Mustang looked a little better, even if only in Ali's eyes. Sometimes Ali felt tired. The garage was hot, and the work was heavy. He wiped sweat from his forehead and sat on an old stool. He thought about giving up, but then he remembered how Grandpa Hassan had smiled when he sold the car. That smile gave him courage. Ali decided to keep going, even if it took months or years. He believed that hard work could turn something forgotten into something amazing. As days passed, Ali began learning more about car engines. He read old manuals and watched videos online. He discovered that some parts could be cleaned instead of replaced, and some wires could be fixed carefully. Money was tight, so Ollie saved every penny. He bought only the essential items and reused whatever he could. This made the work slower, but it also made it more special. Every piece he restored was a small victory. He felt proud, even when the car looked far from ready. Grandpa Hassan visited often. He liked to sit near Ollie and watch him work. He would tell stories about when he drove the Mustang as a young man. "I remember the first time I drove this car to the lake," Grandpa said one evening. "It was sunny, and the wind was strong. I felt free." Ollie listened carefully. He imagined his grandpa driving the Mustang on long roads, the engine roaring, and the sunlight reflecting on its shiny red body. Those stories made Ollie love the car even more. He felt connected to his grandpa through every scratch and dent on the Mustang. Sometimes, Ollie would take a small part of the car, clean it, and then show it to his grandpa. Grandpa Hassan would nod with pride. "You are doing a good job," he said. "This car will shine again because of you." Ollie smiled and felt motivated. The Mustang was no longer just metal and rust. It was memory, history, and love combined. Every day he worked, he felt closer to understanding the car and the man who had cared for it before him. Weeks went by, and slowly the Mustang began to look less like a forgotten relic and more like a classic car. The engine, although still silent, was cleaner. The tires were repaired, and the body was scrubbed. Ollie imagined what it would look like when it ran again, shiny and strong. He knew it would take time, but he also knew he had the patience. The work was not only restoring a car. It was teaching him dedication, discipline, and respect for the past. At night, Ollie would sit in the garage and look at the Mustang under the dim light of a small lamp. He felt proud of how far he had come. The car might still look old to others, but to Ollie it was alive. It was waiting for the day it could run again. He thought about the road trips he could take with his grandpa, the feeling of wind on their faces, and the sound of the engine roaring. That dream kept him working every day, and he could not wait to see it happen. Ollie realized that buying the Mustang was not just about owning a car. It was about taking responsibility, learning new skills, and connecting with his grandpa in a way he had never done before. The Mustang was teaching him patience, determination, and hope. He felt proud, excited, and a little nervous about what the future would bring. But he was ready. He knew this was just the beginning of a long journey with the car he now loved more than anything. Ollie woke up early the next morning, excited to work on the Mustang. The sun had just started to rise, and its light filled the garage with warmth. The car looked quiet, but to Ollie it seemed full of potential. Today, he decided to focus on the engine. He had watched videos and read manuals, but this was the first time he would try real repairs. He wore old gloves and carried a small toolbox. Every time he opened the hood, he felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. The engine was dusty and covered in grease. Some parts were broken, and some wires were loose. Ollie took a deep breath. He remembered what Grandpa Hassan had said, "Cars are like puzzles. You need patience and care to make everything fit." Ollie began by cleaning the engine carefully. Rusty bolts came off slowly, and dirt fell onto a cloth he had placed underneath. It was hard work, and his hands quickly became sore, but he did not stop. Every bolt he removed and cleaned gave him a small sense of achievement. By late morning, Sammy, his best friend, came to check on him. Sammy had never been very interested in cars, but he liked to spend time with Ollie. "Ollie, this looks impossible. Why are you doing this?" Sammy asked. Ollie smiled and replied, "It may look impossible, but every day I do a little. One day it will run again. I can feel it." Sammy shook his head but stayed to help. He handed tools and held lights so Ollie could see better. Together, they worked on cleaning wires and checking connections. Ollie taught Sammy small things he had learned from videos. It was slow, but the two friends laughed when they made mistakes and celebrated small successes. By noon, Ollie felt tired. His back hurt from bending over the engine, and his hands were covered in grease. He took a short break and drank water. He looked at the Mustang and imagined it running on the road, shining like it once did. That vision gave him energy. He knew that learning how to restore the engine would take time, but he was ready for the challenge. He began again, carefully removing broken parts and noting down what needed replacement. Every step was a small victory. Grandpa Hassan came to visit in the afternoon. He watched Ollie work quietly, leaning on his walking stick. "You are learning fast," he said, smiling. "I am proud of you. Remember, it is not only about fixing the car. It is about patience, focus, and care. These will help you in life too." Ollie nodded. His grandpa's words felt important. He realized the Mustang was teaching him more than just car repair. It was teaching him discipline and persistence. Grandpa Hassan stayed a while, telling stories about the old days when he drove the Mustang to different places. Ollie listened carefully, imagining the car moving fast along long roads, the engine roaring with power. That evening, Ollie started to face bigger challenges. Some parts of the engine were too damaged to repair. He had to learn how to replace them carefully. He researched online, read manuals again, and asked Ben, the local mechanic, for advice. Ben was kind and patient. He explained the right way to remove old parts without damaging other pieces. Ollie followed every instruction. His hands were still sore, and some tasks were slow, but he felt more confident with each success. Over the next few days, Ollie worked on the car almost every morning and evening. He learned how to clean the carburetor, oil the engine, and tighten loose wires. Every day, the Mustang looked a little better, even if the changes were small. Ollie also cleaned the interior. The seats were torn, and dust covered every corner. He vacuumed the dirt and wiped the surfaces. When he finished, the inside of the car felt fresher and cleaner. Ollie felt proud. The Mustang was slowly transforming from a forgotten old car to something alive again. Sometimes Ollie became frustrated. The engine refused to start, parts did not fit perfectly, or tools slipped from his hands. He felt tired and thought about giving up. But then he remembered how he had promised himself to restore the Mustang. He remembered his grandpa's smile when he first sold him the car. Ollie took a deep breath, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and tried again. Slowly, he learned that mistakes were part of the process. Every failure taught him something new. Sammy continued to visit and support him. He started enjoying the work more than he thought. He helped Ollie polish small metal pieces and held parts while Ollie fixed them. Sometimes they joked, laughing about their mistakes and celebrating when something worked correctly. Those moments made the work fun. Ollie realized that restoring the Mustang was not only about the car. It was about friendship, learning, and growing as a person. One afternoon, Ollie faced his biggest challenge yet. The engine had a serious problem, and he did not know if he could fix it alone. He called Ben for advice. Ben came quickly and examined the engine carefully. He showed Ollie how to adjust certain parts and clean others. Ollie followed every instruction with care. 4 hours they worked together, adjusting, cleaning, and testing. Finally, the engine was ready for a small test. Ollie held his breath as Ben helped him turn the key. The engine made a small sound, rough but alive. Ollie's heart raced. He smiled widely. The Mustang was starting to respond to his work. That evening, Ollie sat in the garage, looking at the car with satisfaction. He realized how far he had come. From a rusty, broken car, the Mustang had become something alive and strong. Ollie understood that it was not just the car that was changing. He was changing too. He was learning patience, dedication, and the joy of seeing hard work succeed. The Mustang was teaching him lessons he would never forget. Grandpa Hassan visited again. He touched the car gently and smiled. "I knew you would bring it back," he said. "It is not just the car that is restored. It is the love and care you put into it. That is what makes it special." Ollie felt proud and happy. He knew that restoring the Mustang was not easy, but it was worth every moment. He promised himself to continue working carefully until the car was completely restored. Ollie also learned to enjoy the small moments. Cleaning the engine, tightening bolts, and polishing the seats became a routine he loved. Every night, he looked at the Mustang, imagining the day it would shine on the road. He dreamed of driving it with his grandpa, hearing the engine roar and feeling the wind on their faces. Those dreams gave him energy and hope. Ollie knew that with patience and care, the Mustang would run again, better than ever. By the end of part 2, the Mustang was no longer just a rusty old car. It was alive in Ollie's heart. Every bolt, every wire, and every clean surface represented effort, learning, and love. Ollie had faced challenges, frustration, and fatigue, but he had overcome them. The Mustang was slowly becoming more than a car. It was a story of patience, determination, and family connection. Ollie was ready for the next step in his journey. Ollie woke up early again, full of excitement. The Mustang had started making small sounds the day before, and that gave him new energy. He knew the next steps would be more challenging, but he was ready. Today, he planned to focus on the brakes, the tires, and other parts that would make the car ready to move safely. He carried his toolbox carefully, placing it beside the car, and pulled the hood open. The engine still smelled of oil and metal, but to Ollie, it smelled like progress. The brakes were old and worn. Ollie removed them carefully, cleaning each piece. He replaced some parts that were too weak and tightened the ones that were still strong. It was slow work, but he enjoyed it. Every time he finished a part, he stepped back to admire it. The Mustang was beginning to look like it could drive again. Sammy came to visit, carrying a small bag of snacks. He watched Ollie work and said, "Ollie, it really looks different now. I almost cannot believe this is the same car." Ollie smiled. "It is changing, Sammy. I can feel it. Soon it will run like it used to." Ollie spent the next few days working on the tires. They were flat and had holes. He cleaned them, filled them with air, and replaced the old rubber in some places. Every small step made a difference. Even the neighbors noticed the change. Some came to watch, asking questions about the car. Ollie explained carefully how he restored parts instead of buying new ones. Some people shook their heads in surprise. They had laughed when he first bought the Mustang, but now they looked with respect. Ollie felt proud, but he stayed focused on his work. Grandpa Hassan came again one afternoon. He leaned on his walking stick and watched Ollie carefully adjust the brakes. "You are learning fast," he said. "This car is not only metal and paint. It is memory. It is care. Every time you touch it, you are bringing life back." Ollie listened and felt happy. He realized that Grandpa Hassan was right. Restoring the Mustang was about more than just making it look good. It was about respect for the past and patience for the future. Ollie decided it was time to work on the fuel system. The pipes were dirty, and the fuel pump was old. He carefully cleaned everything, checking every connection. It was difficult to understand at first, but Ollie used what he had learned from manuals and online videos. Sammy helped him hold pieces while Ollie fixed them. They laughed when things slipped or did not fit properly, and they celebrated each small success. By the end of the day, the fuel system was ready. Ollie felt confident. Soon, the Mustang would not only look ready but drive ready too. The next challenge was the electrical system. Wires were old, some connections were weak, and the lights did not work. Ollie had never worked on car electricity before, so he read carefully and followed every step. He replaced a few wires and cleaned the connections. The headlights and taillights were dusty and scratched. He polished them until they shone. When he tested the lights, they worked perfectly. Ollie could not stop smiling. Every small victory made him feel proud and motivated. One morning, Ollie decided to clean and polish the body of the Mustang. Rust still covered some areas, but he had learned how to remove it carefully without damaging the metal. He sanded it, applied a special coating, and cleaned it with water and soap. The Mustang began to shine under the sunlight. Ollie ran his hand over the smooth surface. It was no longer just an old car. It looked alive. The scratches and dents were still there, but they told a story of history, struggle, and care. Ollie smiled, imagining the car on the road again. Grandpa Hassan visited in the evening. He walked slowly around the Mustang, touching the hood gently. "It is beautiful," he said quietly. "I cannot believe how much you have done. It is almost like the Mustang is alive again." Ollie felt proud and happy. He knew that all his effort, every hour of cleaning, repairing, and learning, was paying off. He looked at the car and imagined driving it with his grandpa, feeling the wind and the engine roaring. That dream made him work even harder. Ollie also began to organize the garage. Tools were placed neatly, spare parts were arranged in boxes, and the floor was clean. Working on the Mustang was easier now because everything was in order. He learned that restoring a car was not just about fixing it but also about planning, organizing, and thinking ahead. Each day, he discovered something new about cars, about patience, and about himself. He felt proud of how much he had grown in a short time. One afternoon, Ollie decided to test the engine carefully. He had learned how to check every connection, and he wanted to see if the Mustang could run slowly. Sammy was excited and helped him. Ollie turned the key, and the engine roared loudly. It was rough at first, but it was alive. Ollie's heart raced with excitement. Sammy jumped and cheered. Ollie laughed. The sound of the engine was music to his ears. It was proof that all the hard work, frustration, and effort had not been wasted. The Mustang was responding to him. Ollie spent the next few days adjusting the engine to make it run smoother. He cleaned the carburetor, tightened connections, and made small repairs with care. Grandpa Hassan visited every day, offering advice and sharing memories about the car. Ollie listened carefully. The Mustang was no longer just an old vehicle. It was a symbol of patience, care, and love. Every small success made him more determined to finish the restoration. Finally, one evening, Ollie cleaned the interior completely. The seats were polished, the floor mats were clean, and the windows were spotless. The steering wheel was repaired and felt solid. Sammy helped Ollie carry small decorations that gave the interior a classic look. When Ollie finished, he stepped back and looked at the Mustang. It was ready. It was alive, shiny, and strong. Ollie could hardly believe it. The car had gone from a rusty old Mustang to a beautiful classic car again. That night, Ollie sat beside the Mustang, feeling proud and happy. He realized that the journey was not only about restoring a car. It was about learning patience and determination. It was about growing as a person and connecting with his grandpa. The Mustang had taught him valuable lessons about life. Ollie knew that the next steps would bring even more excitement. Soon, he would drive the Mustang on the road for the first time in years. That thought filled him with joy. By the end of part 3, the Mustang was almost fully alive. Its engine roared, the body shone, and the interior was clean and polished. Ollie had learned a lot about cars, patience, and himself. He had faced challenges, solved problems, and celebrated every small success. The Mustang was no longer just a car. It was history, memory, and love brought back to life. Ollie could not wait for the day he would take it on the road, feeling the power of the Mustang under his hands and the wind on his face. Ollie woke up early, feeling excited and nervous. The Mustang had already started running, the engine made strong sounds, and the body was cleaned and polished. But he knew the final steps were the most important. Today, he planned to give the Mustang its finishing touches. He wanted it to shine like it had when his grandpa first drove it. The car deserved every bit of care. He carried his toolbox carefully into the garage, placed it beside the Mustang, and started working with focus and patience. Ollie decided to begin with the paint. The Mustang had scratches and faded colors. He studied it carefully, imagining how it would look after a fresh coat. He asked his grandpa for advice. Grandpa Hassan smiled and said, "The car has history. Do not hide it completely. Clean it, polish it, and restore it. Let people see its story in the scratches and the shine." Ollie nodded, understanding that the Mustang should look strong and beautiful, but also show its history. He carefully sanded some areas, polished the body, and started the painting process. Sammy came to help as usual. He held the spray bottles, cleaned small spots, and supported Ollie in every step. They worked patiently layer by layer. The garage smelled of paint and oil, but it also smelled of progress. Every stroke made the Mustang look brighter, stronger, and alive. Ollie wiped sweat from his forehead but kept going. He was determined to finish the restoration perfectly. The sun slowly moved across the sky, and the car started to shine under its light. While painting, Ollie worked on the small details. The mirrors, the lights, and the windshield wipers needed care. He polished each part carefully. The chrome on the edges of the windows and the tires was dull from years of rust. Ollie cleaned them, making them shine brightly. Sammy watched and said, "Ollie, it looks like a new car, but it is still classic. People will be amazed." Ollie smiled. He loved the classic look. He did not want to make it modern. He wanted to honor the history and the story of the Mustang. Grandpa Hassan visited in the afternoon. He leaned on his walking stick and slowly walked around the Mustang. He touched the hood and smiled. "Ollie, you have done more than I expected. The Mustang is alive again. I am proud of you. Not only because of the work, but because you have learned patience, care, and respect. This car will never be forgotten." Ollie felt proud and happy. He realized that the Mustang was no longer just a car. It was a memory, a story, and a lesson for life. The next step was the interior. Ollie wanted the seats, dashboard, and floor to look as good as the outside. He cleaned every corner carefully. The old seats were polished and repaired. The steering wheel was tightened and polished. The carpets were vacuumed and cleaned until they looked almost new. Ollie even added small touches to make it comfortable for driving. Every detail mattered. The Mustang was more than a car now. It was a project of love, patience, and dedication. Ollie also worked on the engine again. Even though it ran, he wanted it to be smooth and strong. He adjusted wires, polished parts, and replaced a few small pieces. He tested the engine many times, and each time it sounded stronger and better. Sammy was impressed. "Ollie, it is running perfectly now. Soon you will be able to drive it on the road." Ollie smiled. He could hardly wait. Every moment spent working on the Mustang had been worth it. Neighbors began to notice the changes. People who had laughed when Ollie bought the rusty car now stopped to watch. They asked questions and admired the work. Some could not believe that the car was the same rusty Mustang they had seen months ago. Ollie felt proud but remained humble. He explained carefully that it was patience, care, and learning that had restored the car. The Mustang had become a symbol of hard work and determination in the neighborhood. As the final day approached, Ollie focused on polishing the car completely. He cleaned the tires, shined the chrome, and wiped the windows until they sparkled. The car looked strong, shiny, and alive. It had history, but it also had a new life. Ollie stood back and admired his work. He felt proud and happy. The Mustang had transformed from a forgotten rusty car into a classic shining vehicle. It was almost perfect. Grandpa Hassan came for the final inspection. He walked slowly around the Mustang, touching it gently. He looked at Ollie and smiled. "It is beautiful, Ollie. You did not just restore a car. You brought back memories. You showed care, patience, and love. I am proud of you. This Mustang is ready for the road again." Ollie felt tears of happiness in his eyes. All the hard work, the challenges, and the learning had led to this moment. The Mustang was ready. Ollie decided to take the Mustang out for a small test drive. He adjusted the mirrors, fastened his seatbelt, and turned the key. The engine roared smoothly, stronger than before. Ollie smiled and slowly drove the Mustang out of the garage. The sound of the engine echoed in the street. Neighbors came out to watch. They were amazed at the transformation. The car that was once rusty and forgotten now ran perfectly and shined brightly in the sunlight. Ollie felt proud and excited. Grandpa Hassan walked beside the car, holding his grandson's shoulder. "It feels like the Mustang is alive again," he said. Ollie nodded. "It is, Grandpa. Thanks to you, I learned how to care for it. I learned patience and hard work. This is more than just a car for me now." They drove slowly around the street, enjoying every moment. The wind on their faces and the sound of the engine brought joy and happiness. The Mustang had become a part of their story, a connection between generations, and a symbol of dedication. After the test drive, Ollie parked the Mustang in the garage again. He cleaned it one more time and stepped back to admire it. Every detail was perfect. Every part had been restored with care. The Mustang looked alive, proud, and ready for the road. Ollie knew that he had completed something special. It was not just a car anymore. It was history, memory, and love brought back to life. Ollie realized that restoring the Mustang had changed him too. He had learned patience, hard work, and problem-solving. He had spent months facing challenges and overcoming them. He had learned to plan, organize, and care deeply for something valuable. The Mustang had taught him lessons that would last his entire life. It was more than a project. It was a journey of growth, learning, and pride. That night, Ollie sat beside the Mustang with Grandpa Hassan. They talked about the past, the work, and the memories. Grandpa Hassan smiled and said, "You have done something wonderful, Ollie. Not everyone can bring a car back to life. You did it. And more than that, you learned to respect history and hard work. The Mustang will always remind you of this journey." Ollie felt happy, proud, and full of joy. He knew that this was only the beginning of many adventures with the Mustang. By the end of Part 4, the Mustang was fully restored. The engine ran smoothly, the body shined brightly, and the interior was clean and comfortable. The neighbors were amazed, and Grandpa Hassan was proud. Ollie had completed months of hard work, learned valuable lessons, and brought life back to a forgotten car. The Mustang was no longer just a vehicle. It was history, memory, and love restored through patience and care. Ollie was ready for new adventures with his grandpa and the Mustang on the open road. The next morning, Ollie woke up feeling nervous and excited. Today was the day he would drive the Mustang on the open road for the first time after months of hard work. He had checked everything carefully the night before. The engine was strong, the brakes worked perfectly, the tires were filled with air, and the car shined brightly in the sunlight. Every detail had been restored. Ollie felt proud, but also a little nervous about driving it outside the garage. Grandpa Hassan came early. He leaned on his walking stick and smiled warmly at Ollie. "Today is a special day," he said. "Not only for the car but for you too. You have worked hard, learned patience, and restored something valuable. Now it is time to enjoy it." Ollie nodded, feeling his heart beat faster. He carefully adjusted the seat, checked the mirrors, and put on his seatbelt. Grandpa Hassan climbed into the passenger seat. "Are you ready?" he asked. Ollie smiled and said, "Yes, Grandpa. Let's go." Ollie turned the key, and the engine roared to life. The sound was smooth, powerful, and alive. He slowly moved the car out of the garage. The tires rolled steadily on the ground. Neighbors had already started to gather outside, curious about the Mustang. Some of them had laughed when Ollie bought the rusty car, but now they looked with amazement and respect. Ollie felt a small wave of pride. All the hard work had paid off. He slowly drove down the street. The engine sounded strong, the steering was smooth, and the car handled perfectly. Grandpa Hassan smiled, feeling proud and happy. "It is like the Mustang is young again," he said. Ollie nodded. He felt the excitement of driving a car he had restored with his own hands. The sun reflected on the shiny red body of the Mustang. It looked alive and powerful, and Ollie could not help but smile. As they reached the end of the street, Ollie pressed the accelerator carefully. The Mustang moved faster. The wind rushed through the windows, and the engine roared with power. Ollie felt a rush of joy and freedom. Grandpa Hassan laughed softly, enjoying every moment. "This is how it felt when I was young," he said. Ollie nodded. He understood now why his grandpa had loved this car so much. The Mustang was not just a vehicle. It was a feeling, a memory, and a source of happiness. The neighbors watched in awe. They waved and clapped as Ollie drove past. Some took photos and videos, amazed by the transformation. People who had doubted him months ago now looked impressed. Ollie felt proud but humble. He knew that the real reward was not the attention, but the satisfaction of seeing the Mustang alive again. He had restored something forgotten, something beautiful, and it was now ready to bring joy to others. Ollie decided to take a small drive around the neighborhood. He carefully tested the brakes, turned corners slowly, and enjoyed every moment of driving. The Mustang felt smooth and strong. Ollie remembered the long days in the garage, the sweat, the mistakes, and the learning. Every challenge he had faced now felt worth it. The Mustang was no longer just a car. It was a story of hard work, patience, and love brought to life. Grandpa Hassan pointed to a small hill nearby. "Why don't we drive to the top? You can see the whole neighborhood from there." Ollie agreed. They drove up slowly. The Mustang climbed the hill smoothly, without any trouble. When they reached the top, Ollie stopped the car. He looked around and saw the streets, houses, and gardens below. The Mustang looked perfect under the sunlight. The engine was quiet now, but it had power ready for the next drive. Grandpa Hassan placed his hand on Ollie's shoulder. "You did this, Ollie. You brought back life to the Mustang. And you learned more than just fixing a car. You learned patience, care, and love." Ollie smiled, feeling proud and happy. On the way back, Ollie drove carefully, enjoying the feeling of control and freedom. The Mustang ran perfectly, smooth and strong. The neighbors waved and cheered as they drove past. Children ran to watch, pointing at the shiny car. Ollie felt proud. He realized that the Mustang was not only a project for him, but also a source of joy for the whole community. People could see the results of hard work and dedication. Ollie smiled, knowing that he had accomplished something important. Back at Grandpa Hassan's house, Ollie parked the Mustang in the driveway. He stepped out carefully and wiped the car with a soft cloth. Every part gleamed. The paint shined, the chrome reflected the sunlight, and the engine looked ready for any journey. Grandpa Hassan walked slowly around the car, touching the hood gently. "It is perfect, Ollie," he said. "You did not just restore a car. You created a memory. This Mustang will always remind you of what you can achieve with patience and love." Ollie felt tears of happiness in his eyes. He had worked so hard, faced challenges, and finally succeeded. That evening, Ollie sat with Grandpa Hassan in the garage. The Mustang rested quietly, shining under the soft light. Ollie remembered every step of the restoration. Cleaning rust, fixing the engine, polishing the body, learning from mistakes, and never giving up. He realized that this journey was more than a car project. It had taught him life lessons. He understood the value of hard work, patience, and dedication. He understood the joy of seeing something come alive through effort. Ollie also realized that the Mustang had strengthened his bond with Grandpa Hassan. They had spent hours together talking, working, and sharing memories. The car had become a connection between generations, a symbol of family, history, and love. Ollie felt grateful. He knew that the Mustang was more than metal and paint. It carried memories, lessons, and pride. It would always remind him of what he could achieve with effort and care. As night fell, Ollie cleaned the Mustang one last time for the day. The car gleamed under the moonlight. He placed the keys carefully on the table and looked at the car with pride. He knew that the Mustang was ready for many adventures. He dreamed of driving it on long roads, exploring new places, and creating new memories with his grandpa. The journey of restoration had ended, but the adventures with the Mustang were only beginning. Grandpa Hassan placed a hand on Ollie's shoulder. "This Mustang will always be part of your life," he said. "It is more than a car. It is history, love, and patience. You did something amazing, Ollie. Never forget it." Ollie smiled. He felt proud, happy, and inspired. The Mustang had changed his life. It had taught him lessons, brought him closer to his grandpa, and created memories he would never forget. By the end of Part 5, the Mustang was fully alive, strong, and beautiful. Ollie had driven it on the road, shown it to the neighbors, and felt the joy of success. Grandpa Hassan was proud, and the community admired the transformation. The car was no longer just a rusty Mustang. It was a symbol of hard work, patience, love, and family connection. Ollie knew that this was just the beginning. Many adventures awaited him and the Mustang, and every drive would remind him of the lessons he had learned. Ollie finally went inside the house, feeling happy and fulfilled. The Mustang rested quietly in the driveway, shining under the stars. Ollie smiled, knowing that he had accomplished something special. He had restored not just a car, but history, memory, and pride. The Mustang was alive again, and so was Ollie's dream of creating something amazing through patience and care.